Hello, Charlotte.
Hi.
Digital strategy. Digital strategy talks about vision, moving and changing organizations, more or less describing a framework and a new way of museum working, a springboard for digital development within our organization. Why should digital be central to our organizational planning and tied in many ways with museum mission? Suppose we have developed a theory of the strategy. How do we move to practice? That's a difficult point. Why staff involvement and specifying our stakeholders are key issues of digital planning?
Big question.
Big questions.
And a big complicated question. I think as we go forward and as we mature in this area, one of the most important things we will need to do, especially for those leading organizations, is to really think about how to embed digital in everything that they're doing, in their business planning, and in the way that they think about how they want to leverage it in the future. We're not quite there yet, and that's why we're still talking about having a digital strategy. At the end of the day, I think when we're more mature and digital has become part of everybody's job and is in fact underpinning the work of the organization, then it will be sort of a natural part of the landscape. But at the moment, we still think of it as a separate strand of work, and I think that will diminish over time. In terms of why it's become central, I think the easiest way to think about that is if we think a few years ago, we were maybe only doing one or two things that had an underpinning using digital technologies. So perhaps it was the website. Mm-hmm. And now, several years later, when we look at the activities of the museum overall, we can start to see how digital is fanning out and beginning to be a central component in terms of how we engage with the public, how we disseminate our knowledge and our expertise, and how we build relationships. So I think we're at a very interesting point in history, and it is only going to become more, and it will only develop over time. So I think it's the organizations that really understand digital's potential and that actually are now thinking about how to really make the most of it, who will ultimately be the winners in the end, because they will be preparing for this new digital future.
Mm-hmm. What about the stakeholders they need around them?
Well, I think stakeholders come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I would say, obviously, the public is our main base. It's the group that come in all sorts of shapes with all sorts of purpose when they engage with museums. And so when we're thinking about making new digital products and services, we have to really have them at the heart of our thinking. Mm-hmm. But in terms of stakeholders, I would say our staff are stakeholders.
Yes.
I would say our funders have mm-hmm. a concern about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I think these are all needing to be factored into planning and in thinking, and most importantly with communication, so that we're mm-hmm. explaining not only what we're doing but why we're doing it. And I think that ultimately is the most important aspect.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.